Hello, and welcome to putting the yellow corners where they belong. That's not the technical term, but that's what we're going to call it right now. The the best way to do this is to we talked about mastermind in one of the other videos. This piece is yellow, red, blue, and he is where he belongs, and he's oriented correctly, but we won't get there yet. He's where he belongs. He is completely right. This piece is blue-orange, and he is very wrong. He is not at all next to where he belongs. The orange doesn't match the red, the blue doesn't match the green. He couldn't be more wrong. This piece here is white, orange, green, and he's sitting next. Yellow, orange, green, and he's sitting next to yellow, blue, orange. So the orange is there, but the green is not. So if you think of it like he gets 2 points for being totally right, he gets 1 point for being half right, and he's totally wrong. This couldn't be further from the correct spot. He's close, and he's totally right. If you can think of it like, gold, silver, bronze, he's right, he's half right, he's totally wrong. What you want to do is move the one that's completely right towards the one that's completely wrong. We're going to bump him out of the way. Then, after we do that, we're going to bring up a little snowman guy, just like we did before. Since we went that way first, his head's going to go this way. Then we're going to bring up his friend, and he's going to go that way, making him connect. Once their head is back on, they can go down. And then his head comes back, and then he goes down. What that does is shuffles these pieces around so that the one that was right stays, and all of these transfer. So now, this piece is totally right. This piece is totally right. All the pieces up here are exactly where they ought to be. This one's tricky though, so let's try it one more time. Give you another example. This is yellow, orange, blue. He is what we call the most correct right now. He's not oriented correctly, but he is where he ought to be. This piece, he gets 2 points for being in the right spot. He's doing his job. This is yellow, red, green. He's half right. The red's right, but the green isn't right. He couldn't be more wrong. Red, blue does not belong next to orange, green. So this is the most right. This is the most wrong. We're going to push the one that's the most right towards the one that's the most wrong. That's the first step. Then you bring up the snowman from the side that was the most right. So this is most right. He goes towards the one that's the most wrong. Bring up this little guy. Then his head's going to go back that direction. Then his friend comes up on this side. His head's going to go that way, bringing this one back. Once their head's on, they can go back down. His head comes back. He can go back down. Now all of our pieces on top are where they ought to be. The case on here that you may get is nothing being right. So here, everything is the farthest from being correct. Everyone gets 0 points. Everyone fails. You're all fired. In this case, it doesn't matter where you start. Since they all have a value of 0, you can just pretend. So we're just going to pretend right now that this one's most right and this is most wrong. You cannot mess this part up because everything's wrong. So just pretend that this one's right, this one's wrong. Move the one that's right towards the one that's wrong. Bring up this guy. His head goes that way. Bring up his friend. His head goes the other way. Once his head's back, he can go down. His head comes back, he goes down. What this does is it takes you to a case where 1 is going to be completely right, 2 are going to be it's half right, and then 1's going to be wrong. Just like the no yellow squares to the I, to the R, to the cross, this is the same concept of you can't be 2 moves away from here. So here's the one that's right, the most right. Here's the one that's the most wrong. Push the one that's right towards the one that's wrong. He comes up. His head goes this way. He comes up. His head goes that way. His head's back. He goes down. His head's back. He goes down. That was an accidental total solve. That won't happen. Let's do one more example. Just to that there's there's so many odds. There's like a 1 in 12 chance that on that move the cube's going to be done, but you cannot rest on that. So let's go back, try one more time. This is yellow, orange, green. He's going to move towards the one that's most wrong. This is most wrong. This is most right. Then he comes up. His head goes this way. He comes up. His head goes this way. He's connected. He can go down. He's connected. He can go down. Now everything is where it belongs and ready for the final orientation of these. Once they are in the right place, then we have one more algorithm that's going to get everything turned the correct way. And this is the simplest one. It's just we're at the end here. So one more video on orienting the corners. Check it out.